This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Shalom. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, pushing this doctrine of truth, to the elect of the nation of Israel, who were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth pursuant to the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. All right, I wanted to do a quick lesson. The lesson's entitled, "The Lord's Not Coming to Save You Edomites. He's coming to destroy you." Okay, something along those lines. All right, because we are seeing the devil come down with great wrath. And the devil in this context isn't the spiritual demon, Satan. It's actually a nation of people referred to collectively as the devil. And this is in the Bible. And you're not going to hear this in the Christian church. Okay? And we got the scriptures to prove it. All right? But as we just read here in Obadiah chapter 1, verse 15, all right, the day of the Lord, let's just read it again. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Okay, so all the evil and all the wickedness, all the atrocities that were committed by these Edomites, the so-called white man, is going to be returned upon their own head. Okay, you just read it. All right, so all those hangings, all the police shootings, okay, all the deletions of our people unjustly for centuries, all right, that's all going to return upon the head of these Edomites. See, they are under the false impression that the Lord is coming back to save them. Okay? He's coming back to save them like he's coming back to save the elect of the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because we are the people of the Lord. And salvation is of the Jew, as the scripture says. Okay? Now, this is entitled, Edom Will Be Humbled. Okay? This is what it's about. This is talking about the Edomites. Okay? So we can identify through prophecy who the Edomites are. This is an end time prophecy. So that means this nation of people has to still be on this earth, right? Now, this is a vision put forth by Obadiah. Of course, the Lord put this vision, or gave him this vision to see, this end time prophecy, right? So let's go to the book of Malachi so we can prove that this is in fact talking about a nation of people. Okay? Contrary to popular belief, because you're not going to hear this in the Christian church. You're not going to see any of these scriptures in the Christian church, right? They're hiding it. Okay? Now, we know that the Edomites, they've concealed their biblical identity by calling themselves white. Okay? And I believe they started calling themselves white in the 1600s here in America. Okay? And why did they do that? Because they wanted to hide their biblical identity as the Edomites, the descendants of Esau, which is hated by the Lord, or who is hated by the Lord. Okay? Let's prove that. Let's start at verse 1. The burden of the Lord, or the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. It's only to Israel. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob. And I hated Esau. I hated Esau. I hated Esau. Right? Now, some Christians will play that semantics game and say, well, that says hated, meaning past tense. Well, no, this is a perpetual hatred. And you're going to find that out as we continue to read. And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, you see how these terms are used interchangeably, right? Well, that's because this is talking about his descendants. We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. It says they shall call them. Well, them is plural. Plural, right? That's a pronoun. The people, not the individual, the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Not for a day, not for 100 years, not 10,000 years, forever. Okay? So there's a nation of people that's going to be judged. They're going to be punished for what they did to Jacob, right? Or the Israelites. So let's go back to the book of Obadiah. Let's jump down to verse 15. The point is verse 16. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. All the heathen, not some, right? All the heathen. So much for salvation for the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. And like I said, what have they done? What did they do to us? Well, they had us in slavery here in Babylon the Great, here in America, right? So that's going to be done to them too. Believe it or not. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, and the holy mountain of the Lord are the Israelites, and particularly the elect of the nation of Israel, so shall all the heathen drink continually. It didn't say some of the heathen, okay? Because if it would have said some of the heathen, that would have implied that some of the heathen, or most of the heathen, would be eligible for salvation. But they're not. That's why it says all the heathen shall drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. Right. The Israelites. Mount Zion represents the Israelites, the elect of the nation of Israel, and particularly the Israelites are going to be delivered. You notice how that excludes the heathens, right? Because you see the two lots playing out right before your eyes. This is the lot for the Israelites, which is salvation, and this is the lot for the heathen, punishment. And we're going to find out what it means for them to drink continually, right? And swallow down. And there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Whose possessions? The Edomites and the rest of the heathens. Okay, all the possessions, all the gold, all the money, everything that you devils stole from us, we're going to have returned to us. Okay? And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. Okay, both the northern and southern kingdom of the nation of Israel, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. Didn't say save them. It says devour them. Is that salvation? You Edomites, you Christian Edomites? And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, Salakia, any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. Okay? So this is the lot of the Edomites. And of course, this is going to take place after you Edomites serve your punishment, which is slavery. Okay? And we're going to get that in the book of Lamentations. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. That dwellest in the land of Uz, which is representative of the United States of America. Okay, Babylon the Great. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thine sins. So guess what? The Israelites will not be carried away into captivity anymore, but the Edomites will. That's what this means. He will visit thine iniquity, talking about the daughter of Edom, the Edomites. He's going to visit their iniquity with what? Captivity. He will discover thy sins. Okay? So you devils, you Edomites, you have a lot to pay for. Okay? Now we know things are going to get rough for us, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and those of you that be like unto the speckled bird. Okay? You look like the other nations, but you're Israelites. All right? You're going to look like white people. You're going to look like Chinese and Japanese and even African people. But this truth, this doctrine resonates with your spirit. It's because you're Israelites. Okay? And don't let anyone convince you otherwise. If you can call on the names of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai through faith, right? You're an Israelite. Okay? That's what prophecy says. Okay? All right. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, because, you Christians are quick to say, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. Well, what world is that talking about? Is it talking about all mankind in this world? No, it's not. It's talking about the nation of Israel, their world. Slovakia. Salakia. Just getting over a cold. All right. Where were we? Isaiah chapter 45, verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded. Here's the point. World without end. So whose world is this talking about in John 3:16? Again, it's talking about the world of Israel. Not the world of Esau, Edom. Not the world of you Moabites or Ishmaelites. No, this is talking about the world of the elect of Israel, especially, first and foremost. Okay? So now we got that out the way. Let's go to the book of Revelation. All right? Because there's prophecies all over the Bible, throughout the Bible, that talks about the recompense that's going to be put forth to you Edomites. This is the book of Revelation chapter 11 verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, all Israelites. Okay? The prophets are saints. Okay? All of Israel are actually saints. Okay? But we have the saints that were called to be saints too. Okay? And that's the elect. Alright? Small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Okay? And the Edomites are the ones destroying the earth. Okay? How are you doing that? Well, you did that with World War I. You did that with World War II. And you're going to do it with World War III. Okay? This beast system is going to be destroyed. It's going down. We know that at some point, Gog and Magog, Russia, and its ally nations are going to shoot nukes over here to Babylon the Great and destroy this place, thereby creating that lake of fire that's talked about in the book of Revelation. Okay? The lake of fire is not hell. The lake of fire is on earth, and it's going to be created by the nuclear destruction here in Babylon the Great. Okay? Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35. Prophecy against Mount Seir. Who's Mount Seir? That's representative of Esau, Edom. Okay? Just like Mount Zion is representative of the Israelites, well, Mount Seir is representative of the Edomites. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. So the Lord is against Mount Seir, the Edomites. He's not for them. Again, he's not coming to save the Edomites. You wicked, evil devils, doing all the evil and the hateful stuff that you've been doing against our people, you're going to pay for it. And prophesy against it. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. Why is the Lord saying he's against him? Why isn't he saying, I will forgive you for all your wrongdoing? No, he's not saying that at all. Okay? Because the Lord's not going to forgive these devils for anything that they've done. Okay? He's going to punish them. And I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Okay, so if he's going to lay cities waste, well, he's talking about Babylon the Great, because this is an end-time prophecy especially. Why are you going to do all this, Lord? I thought you loved everybody. I thought you loved the Edomites as much as you loved the children of Israel. Right? Why are you doing this? Well, the next verse is going to tell you. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. All right? So that's why. For all you Edomites out there want to play stupid, all right, and act like you're these innocent people. Oh, our forefathers did it. Well, no, you're passing the torch, okay, because you're still showing that hatred that you have for us, that perpetual ongoing hatred that you have for our people, right? And you're still shedding the blood of us, right? The police are shooting our people in the streets, okay? Now some of these jakes deserve it, but the vast majority of them don't, okay? The deletion clinics that you're putting in our neighborhoods, okay? This is how you're shedding our blood, encouraging our women to delete their offspring when they're in the womb. Okay? You're doing that by design. That's not an altruistic thing that you're doing to help humanity, to help our people. You're doing that to destroy our people. All right? But our women are too foolish to see, okay, your true intentions behind that. All right? You call evil good. You call having deletions, women, our people especially, our Israelite women, and you're promoting that as a good thing, okay, when it's a wicked, evil thing. And the scriptures say, woe to them that call evil good and good evil. All right? You're taking something evil, like deletion of fetuses, and you're calling it good. So the Lord's going to destroy you. That's what woe to him means. Destruction. You are going to be destroyed, you devils, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate. America is going to be made desolate through nuclear destruction, and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. Okay? And I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers shall they fall. that are slain with the sword. The Lord's not coming to save you, you freaking Edomites, man. He's coming to slay you with his sword through the Son, okay, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. The Lord is going to destroy you, devils. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. So, yeah, you tried to possess the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right, well, you did for a season, but now it's time to pay the fiddler. The Lord wants his payment, and you devils are going to get it. Okay? Now, how is the Lord going to go about doing this? Well, let's go to the book of Ezekiel, because it talks about it. This is in the scriptures. See, I've never read any of these scriptures in the Christian church, and that's by design. This is why they give tax-free exemptions or tax exemptions to churches that teach the gospel, okay, as they want it to be, not what's written in the scriptures. And this is why these scriptures are left out or omitted from the Christian church. This is why you've never heard them, all right, because they're hiding their true identity. They know who they are. They know that salvation's only for the Jew or for the Israelites. It's not for these Edomites. They're the wicked, okay? You can't be righteous when you're a wicked Edomite. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 25. And what does the subtitle read? Judgment on Gentile nations. Ammon is one. But guess who else falls under this? Well, let's see. Ammon's one. He's the first one. That's the so-called Japanese. Moab is one, the so-called Chinese, and well. Edom, the so-called white man, right? Philistia, the so-called Africans, okay? So all four of you heathen nations, Gentile nations, are being named here. So what's the Lord going to do to Edom? Let's skip past Moab and Ammon and go straight to Edom. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah, you so-called Negroes, by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended. Who do you offend? The Lord, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and his only begotten Son, and revenged himself upon them, because we took the blessing. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate. There's that word again. It means you're going to be destroyed. From Teman. And they of the Dan shall fall by the sword. Why isn't the Lord talking about saving the Edomites if they're eligible for salvation? We keep hearing that the Lord's going to destroy them. We read that in the book of Obadiah. We read that in the book of Ezekiel, and now we're reading that in the book of, well, this is Ezekiel too, but we read that in the 20 or 35th chapter previously. And this is the 25th chapter, right? And there's nothing good promised to the Edomites, nothing but destruction, punishment, okay? And they're going to fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. Well, wait a minute. If Edom can be saved, why is the Lord talking about avenging his people Israel, okay, on Edom? And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance. Do you think anybody's going to be saved out of this group here from Edom, or of Edom? No, absolutely not. They're going to be destroyed, okay? And that's the bottom line. Let's get one more scripture. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. Because you devil's fate is talked about in the scriptures. Israel's taunt. Well. Another subheading, okay, that tells you that Israel's going to be saved and you heathens are not. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. You notice it didn't say he's going to have mercy on Esau, Edom. And will yet choose Israel. We're the chosen, right? and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, who are the Israelite foreigners, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall what? Possess them in the land of Israel, of the Lord, for servants and handmaids, slaves. That's what that means, and you know it. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So yes, the Lord considers you Edomites our oppressors, because that's all you've done. You've never shown us any love. You've never shown us any compassion. You've never shown us any mercy since we've been here in Babylon, the Great America. Okay, it's been 400 plus years of hatred, okay, atrocities, rape, robbery, and murder committed against our people, hanging from trees, okay, molesting our children, sodomizing the boys, okay, raping the girls, raping mothers, okay, forcing Israelite boys to have sex with their mother, right? Hence the term mofo. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you forced us to do that. Okay, you're despicable, evil, wicked people. You're all going to pay for the evils that you committed against our people. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. Whose sorrow? The Israelites. And from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Yeah, and we serve bondage where? Here in Babylon the Great in particularly, but also, in the Caribbean islands, Spain. Okay, there have been other nations where we had to serve captivity, but here in America, this was considered the most brutal, most atrocious captivity that the world has ever seen. Okay, and just to comment on this subtitle again, Israel's taunt. You notice it says that Israel is going to taunt you Edomites and the heathen nations. Okay, when the Lord comes back. So the Lord's not coming back for you damn Edomites. All right, you people in the Christian church, you got another thing coming. You are in store for the rudest awakening that you've ever seen. Okay, that you've ever experienced, because the Lord is only coming to save his people. And again, our people are going to look like, some of our people are going to look like so-called white people and so-called Chinese and Asians. Okay? All right, we judge by the Spirit. This is not a black or color thing. It's not about that. We say so-called white man as a point of reference, because we know that there are a lot of Israelites that look like the heathen nations. Point blank, period. Okay? That's why we say those that be like unto the speckled bird. Okay, the speckled bird is not one color. All right? And that's why it's a metaphor for how Israel is going to look. Okay, in these end days, end time days, pursuant to the curses of Deuteronomy. If we're scattered into all nations at some point, we're going to lose, our phenotype. Okay, our physical appearance. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope this was edifying, but you Edomites are going to pay. You are going to pay. I cannot wait to see this day. All right? All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.